This is 9 News with Charles Croucher.
Good evening. A freight train is how shaken Victorians have described the raging bushfires that have wiped towns off the map. The emergency has triggered a state of disaster, with more than 130 homes lost and a warning tonight the danger has not yet passed. Right now, 10 major bushfires are still burning out of control, including on our border. New South Wales is sweating through bushfire fears, searing temperatures surging beyond 40 degrees right across Sydney. Our 9 News team is live across the country, tracking the fire fronts and unrelenting heat. James Wilson leads us off.
In each other's arms, Loretta and Ray Rice, back at their forever home, now lost to the flames.
Probably hasn't hit me yet.
Yeah, it will. It will in a few days' time, I think.
The couple's property, including sheds and cars, destroyed in Harcourt, 90 minutes north of Melbourne, after bushfires ripped through yesterday afternoon.
This was all ours. It was.
So all our retirement all gone up in smoke, so we start again.
The devastation across the state has been widespread. Razed homes scattered among scorched earth. Today, the Victorian Premier declaring a state of disaster for 18 local government areas, giving emergency services the power to force people to leave their homes.
If you have been told to leave, you must go.
The reason they give these instructions is very much for your own safety.
Out of nearly 60 fires still burning, the hardest hit areas continue to be regions around Longwood and Harcourt in central Victoria, as well as Walwa near the New South Wales border and Nadamuck in the west. Over 300,000 hectares have been burnt and more than 130 structures lost. The town of Ruffy hit hard.
At 1 o'clock, I got a phone call saying the fire's turned, it's heading to Ruffy, get ready now, it's coming.
The 141-year-old local school destroyed after battling to save homes all night. Local fire volunteers Jamie and Anne couldn't save their own.
It was a freight train just coming at us from over there.
Fires in the area are still out of control.
Longwood's had big fires in 65 and this is up there with the big ones, and this is still going to go for weeks and weeks.
The PM this morning receiving a briefing from the National Situation Room in Canberra.
At the worst of times, we see the best of the Australian character.
In some positive news, a mother, father and their adult child from Longwood feared missing at the peak of yesterday's blaze were today accounted for alive and well. 3 firefighters have been injured battling blazes. A man in his 60s found dead in a vehicle near Harcourt last night.
The cause of his death is unknown. It doesn't appear to be directly related to fire.
Reinforcements sent from New South Wales, over 90 firefighters as well as aircraft travelling south of the border.
Their agencies have asked for more strike teams. My understanding is the RFS is filling those gaps as quickly as possible and sending them across the Murray.
Today's cooler weather giving crews on the fire ground a chance to gain the upper hand. But the danger is far from over.
We are in summer in Victoria. These fires are not going away anywhere anytime soon.
Like many communities, the memories of the Black Saturday fires in 2009 are still vivid in Alexandra. Yesterday, the town was under threat once again.
We can feel the heat from this fire just here right beside us.
Locals and fire crews digging deep to save their town.
Everyone's taking precautions, just wetting everything down, all the roofs.
Hoping everything's going to be fine.
The battle lasting well into the night. And while not every home could be saved, many survived.
With my crew last night, the guys on the back did an incredible job in some tough situations where for times they just couldn't breathe while they're dealing with the fire until we could to get ahead of the front.
This great southern land down but not out. The resilience of the Aussie spirit tonight being tested like never before.
Can rebuild houses. I've been broke before, so we start again, but 79's a bit old, but we're starting again.
James Wilson, 9 News.
And the team in Victoria is standing by for us now. Let's begin with Raymond Terrace, who's in Longwood East. Jill, you have some good news tonight for exhausted fireys.
Yes, Charles, we do have an update from the State Control Centre, and although there's some gusty winds right now and into the evening, these conditions will be good for containment, which is what fireys will be focusing on to prevent them from spreading any further to homes. But all up in this Longwood fire, which goes all the way from Ruffy, near where I am, all the way down to Alexandra, 150,000 hectares of land has burned. There still are emergency warnings in place, so lives and homes are still at risk, so please heed those warnings. Charles.
All right, Jill, thank you. I want to bring in Jack Ward now. He's near Natamuck, where 20 buildings have been destroyed. Jack, the warnings for the fire have been downgraded there.
They have, Charles. Firefighters have stopped it spreading any further, but there is still a long way to go here. Crews are expected to be in this area for days as they monitor flare-ups and also keep an eye on smouldering trees. Residents were told at a community meeting this afternoon that they won't be able to return home until tomorrow at the earliest. When authorities are happy it is safe to do so. As we go to air tonight, a new emergency is popping up in the south of the state in the Otways. There are 5 emergency warnings there in place at the moment for multiple fires that are burning after lightning strikes hit that part of the state. So this emergency is far from over at this stage. Charles.
And we are thinking of those communities tonight, Jack. Thank you. The final day of Sydney's heatwave was a case of saving the worst for last. It soared beyond 40 degrees in most suburbs before lunchtime, many going to extreme lengths to stay cool.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. And today, it didn't matter how you kept cool.
So nice. Only way to beat it.
Cheers. Cheers. What mattered is that you tried. And a beach was a good start. At Manly, it hit 43 degrees.
Well, you can always go for a swim.
That's why we're out early walking.
But some couldn't handle the heat of competition. At Maroubra, the competition between our best Iron men and Iron women.
8, 9, 10, half the field's on it. We've got a party wave. Look at them go down.
Became a battle. But at Koji, the only battle was for attention, where it was 40 degrees by lunchtime. While Bondi, well, Bondi was beautiful. The eastern suburbs might think beaches are their thing. But at Urban Surf, they say West is best.
It's an absolutely fabulous day here at Urban Surf. We're going to have about 1,000 people in the water during the course of the day.
43 at Sydney Olympic Park, 1 degree short of its all-time record. But while it's fun in the sun, it can be dangerous too.
We do lose people on these incredibly hot days. People die as a result of extreme heat in Australia. That is the truth.
A united front from our emergency services. Their message, a simple one. Look after yourself and others.
It's important to understand that heatwave can be a public health emergency for our vulnerable communities.
Late this afternoon, the heatwave conditions fanned a small grass fire near Campbelltown. It was slowed by authorities, but nothing was slowing this lot, lining up for a concert at Kudos Bank Arena.
We got here Thursday at 3 p.m. Kmart spray bottles are a must.
Slip, slop, slap and sing.
And I don't want to be a loner. Na, 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 na.
Well, however you're staying cool across Sydney today, just remember it can always be worse. Spare a thought for the tennis stars slogging it out at the United Cup. The fans needed fans, and they won't be put away for a while yet. Tonight, the battle to beat the heat continues. Alex Heinke, 9 News.
He was at the court, now he's on the coast. Alex Heinke is in Bondi for us this evening. Alex, the beaches will be packed tonight.
Absolutely, Charles. Tens of thousands still soaking up the sun along our coastline. And can you blame them? Let me step aside and just show you Bondi Beach at its absolute best. Believe it or not, it's currently 38 degrees. It looks and it feels like it's midday. But with the good, Charles, comes the Bureau is suggesting it won't be dropping below 30 degrees here at Bondi Beach until about 10 o'clock tonight.
Alex, thank you. And there is breaking news now in Moorebank in Sydney's southwest, where dozens of firefighters are battling a grass fire that is burning at the back of a factory. The blaze is on Hells Avenue, blowing smoke towards nearby apartments and the Hume Highway. There is no current threat to lives or homes. And Sophie Walsh has been tracking where this heatwave is hitting hardest. Good evening, Sophie.
Good evening, Charles. Temperatures skyrocketed almost as quickly as the sun rose. By 8 a.m, it was already 30 degrees. And if we take a look at the current temps, it is still extremely hot out there right now. 33 in the city and still 41 degrees in the west, which is where the mercury soared the highest today. Holsworthy hit 40 before midday, peaking at 43.5 degrees. Badgerys Creek and Richmond not far behind, 42.8. Penrith soaring past 42 as well. Normally it is cooler on the coast, not today though. The city maxed out at 42.2 degrees, which was 16 degrees above the January average. The blistering conditions fanned by strong northwesterly winds gusting at 57 kilometres an hour at the airport and on the harbour, 56 kilometres an hour at Manly. This was the heat map today across the state. Dark reds and purples showing regions in the high 30s and 40s. This is what we are expecting tomorrow, much milder conditions as we await that cool southerly change due to arrive in the next few hours. I'll have those details after sport. Charles.
Thank you, Soph. We hope that buster comes soon. Let's turn to breaking news of another major weather event impacting the east coast with Tropical Cyclone Koji forming off the North Queensland coast. Abby Guerin is live. Abby, good evening to you. What are the conditions being felt there?
Charles, good evening. Well, we're in Bowen on the tropical north coast, just north of the Whitsundays this evening, and you can tell the winds have certainly strengthened. The rain is coming in at us sideways. As you mentioned, the Weather Bureau has just informed us in the past few minutes that this is now a Category 2 tropical cyclone barrelling toward the coastline. Bowen is a holiday destination. This is Horseshoe Bay. It's ordinarily an idyllic place to come for a dip. Take a look at the locals out there. They are making the most of their newfound surf break. They tell me these are their dream conditions. They never see it like this. As for the mapping, this system is currently sitting about 275 kilometres northeast of Townsville. It is tracking in a southwesterly direction. It's now forecast to make landfall at Ayr, which is just north of us here in Bowen, around 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. The Premier says it is time to batten down the hatches. He has faith Queenslanders are prepared.
It's a part of the state that do it very well, and they know how to handle disasters. They're well versed in it. I just have every faith in Queenslanders being able to respond to an event like this.
We are expecting to see destructive wind gusts up to 130 kilometres per hour through tonight. Isolated rainfall totals in a 24-hour period of up to 350 millimetres. So we know this is just the beginning, Charles. All we can do now is watch and wait.
A big 24 hours ahead, Abby. Thank you. With the Royal Commission now into anti-Semitism now going ahead, there are calls tonight for the inquiry to investigate all forms of hate impacting Australia's social cohesion. Tonight, new polling shows both major parties have taken a hit, while One Nation's popularity surges even further.
In a summer defined by an act of hate, the quest for cohesion is stretching from Australia's east coast to its west.
There's an absolute determination in the Albanese government to make sure that this Royal Commission is a success.
As attention turns to what could come under the Royal Commission's scope, tasked with investigating both anti-Semitism and social cohesion. Calls coming from some within Labor caucus and the Greens to look into all forms of hate.
It is important that we bring together our multicultural communities to bring us together under a banner of tolerance, democracy and respect.
We've given the Royal Commissioner broad powers to look into social cohesion, and the Royal Commissioner can make those decisions.
It must deal with anti-Semitism and radical Islamic extremism, and it must confront that head-on.
Polling undertaken in the days before Anthony Albanese's U-turn showing the government's primary vote down 6 points since the May election. The coalition down 7 to 25%. One Nation seeing a surge in support. This polling captures the sentiment in Australia before the Prime Minister reversed course on the Royal Commission. Both major parties will be hoping these numbers also turn around. Emily Saunders, 9 News.
Elon Musk's social media platform X is being investigated by Australia's e-safety commissioner over reports its artificial intelligence system, Grok, is being used to create non-consensual pornographic images of real people. Our Prime Minister joining other world leaders, including Britain's Keir Starmer, condemning the platform.
The use of generative artificial intelligence to exploit or sexualise people without their consent is abhorrent.
X says it's working to remove the material and suspend accounts involved in making illegal content. Sydney police are searching for a man who fatally shot a Merrylands local inside his home in the early hours of this morning. And with no clear links to any criminal networks, tonight the motive behind the killings remain a mystery.
Tactical police and a line of crime tape surrounding the Merrylands building where Bosco Josick's life was cut short.
I knew I was his best man for his wedding a long time ago. Haven't seen him for multiple years now. I guess he had the wrong group of friends, I guess. Had a hard life.
The 44-year-old shot once in the chest inside his Newman Street unit around 6:30 this morning. A woman finding him injured and calling 000.
Police worked with paramedics at that unit, and a male in his 40s has unfortunately passed away.
You expect fights and the police to come because they've come, but not something like this.
Police now hunting for the gunman as they investigate why this happened and whether an argument neighbours heard in the hours before is connected.
I rang them twice this morning. People are banging the doors up and down.
Police say this doesn't appear to be linked to any gangland or high-level drug activity, but they say it was a targeted attack.
You know, I grew up here, so it's pretty frightening that, this stuff can happen around here.
Helene Lambertsos, 9 News.
The driver accused of causing a fatal crash in Sydney's southwest on Thursday night has appeared in court today. Luke Heathcott-Heller is facing 14 serious charges, including dangerous driving causing death. The crash on Appin Road claimed the life of a 17-year-old girl, leaving several others critically injured. The 22-year-old was refused bail. A driver has been charged after passengers were filmed hanging from windows of a vehicle in the M8 tunnel near Haberfield on Thursday. The 23-year-old woman was arrested at her home and charged with 2 offences, including dangerous driving. Her licence has now been suspended. Fire crews feared for a woman thought to be trapped inside a house fire at Raymond Terrace, north of Newcastle overnight. The intensity of the flames prevented first responders from checking inside the structure. She was later found safe outside the burning property that's on Tropical Parade, which took an hour to control. The cause is being investigated.
With the Bondi Royal Commission now going ahead, there's pressure for the inquiry to investigate all forms of hate in Australia. It comes as new polling shows both major parties have taken a hit, while One Nation's popularity surges. Emily Saunders has the details.
In a summer defined by an act of hate, the quest for cohesion is stretching from Australia's east coast to its west.
There's an absolute determination in the Albanese government to make sure that this Royal Commission is a success.
As attention turns to what could come under the Royal Commission's scope, tasked with investigating both anti-Semitism and social cohesion. Calls coming from some within Labor caucus and the Greens to look into all forms of hate.
It is important that we bring together our multicultural communities to bring us together under a banner of tolerance, democracy and respect.
We've given the Royal Commissioner broad powers to look into social cohesion, and the Royal Commissioner can make those decisions.
It must deal with anti-Semitism and radical Islamic extremism, and it must confront that head-on.
Polling undertaken in the days before Anthony Albanese's U-turn showing the government's primary vote down 6 points since the May election. The coalition down 7 to 25%. One Nation seeing a surge in support. This polling captures the sentiment in Australia before the Prime Minister reversed course on the Royal Commission. Both major parties will be hoping these numbers also turn around. Emily Saunders, 9 News.